Hello, everyone, and welcome today to episode number 90 of Celebrity Customer Experience, Riffs with me, Jill Raff. We riff on anything and everything from employee experience to customer experience. Of course, that's our brand, EX to CX, because we really believe that customer experience happens as a result of the employee experience, and that could be good or bad. So I want to thank you first for joining us today, investing your time, the most precious asset there is, one that we don't get back. And thank you for spending this time with me, and my amazing guest today is really going to be a fun one. So thank you for joining. And I want to, before I bring him on, encourage you to share this invite, this link with others that you think might benefit from this interesting connection of EX and CX to the world of soccer or football, if you're in pretty much anywhere else, other part of the world. So feel free to share it right now, or if you're watching the replay, thank you. Comment, tag us, feel free to share even afterwards. This will live on and provide a lot of value to others. So thank you for that. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on my guest today, Gregorio Uglioni. Thank you so much for joining.
Jill, thank you very much. It's really a great pleasure to be here. And as now I know that you speak Italian, buongiorno, or if you are somewhere else, buonasera. It's really a great pleasure to be here.
È vero, è già la notte dove tu adesso è in Zurich.
Yes, I am in Zurich. Zurigo. It's 7 p.m., but I am full of energy for this great discussion together with you.
Yes, thank you. Always, I love the Italian energy, the Italian spirit, and it's really, we had such a fun conversation. I'm excited to bring that forward to others to share. So a little bit of background. Gregorio is a specialist in business transformation, innovation, and customer experience. He's the CX Goalkeeper, and you'll learn why that is, and the head of business transformation at the Cantonal Hospital of Winterthur in Switzerland. Did I pronounce that correctly? With strong leadership skills, Gregorio has successfully led several transformation programs, achieving great results, creating a positive customer impact while relentlessly nurturing a positive, innovative culture. That is so important. His cross-industry engagement for the development of customer experience science, for example, like with his podcast, The CX Goalkeeper, as a judge at several international events and co-author of global bestseller Customer Experience #3. And in his deep knowledge, which has allowed him to be recognized in customer experience community. He's one of the few CCXPs in Switzerland and the world's first certified ACXS Plus. Gregorio holds 2 masters from the University of Zurich. Very impressive. In short, he describes himself as the CX Goalkeeper, jumping from reading and listening to insights all about watching what's going on in CX and following soccer or football. He says, however, his real battery charger, I love this, is his family. He speaks a lot about his family because of his love for spending time with his family, being at home in the Swiss mountains. How jealous are we all? And at the lunch and dinner table amongst those mountains. So, oh, wow. Just putting myself there right now vicariously. So fantastic. Thank you so much. So today's topic, we decided to call Scoring Some CX and EX Goals Together. So we're going to jump into that, but I always think it's interesting because I have so many different interesting guests to learn a little bit about who they are, where they come from. What's your backstory that brought you to doing what you're doing?
Thank you very much, Jill. A great introduction. And as you are saying, I think this is really time well invested having the opportunity to talk with you, but also watching all the videos that you are doing in your outstanding series that you are doing. One personal comment, as you mentioned that I cooked pizza for my family. They are eating. I am discussing with you, but later I will have also my slice of pizza.
Buono, che buono.
Pizza al prosciutto. But let's stop speaking about cooking and
and
coming
food.
to customer experience. And thank you very much. I started my career at Accenture. This is a global consulting company, and there we started from day one to have a focus on the customer. At Accenture, the customer are our B2B customer, but at the end, they are with the people we are working with them. And from there, it started my understanding of how important customers are. The same point of view, it was exactly the same when I moved to a credit card issuer in Switzerland, one of the biggest, and I worked also in the department operations. Operations is the department that has direct contact to the customers. It means I was there together with contact center people, contact center employees that were listening, calling, and discussing with people. And for me, it was really interesting to understand really what they are doing. You know, it's always easy. Young men coming from Accenture, creating the best possible strategy with the C-suite and so on. And then I spoke with the contact center manager, and he told me, you come with me, come downstairs, and I show you something. And for me, it opened up a completely new world. And it was really outstanding to have the opportunity to sit next to a contact center agent and listening to what customer were discussing. In the C-suite, everybody spoke about big digitalization initiative. We need this technology, we need this and that. But the real customer issues, the real customer needs is, I need to change my address. Where is my parcel? I bought it 2 weeks ago and I don't have it and I need it. And therefore, working there and driving the transformation of this department from a cost center into a value-generating, customer-centric engine, it was really one of the most important gifts that I received during my career. And now I moved to an hospital and I am doing exactly the same. The focus is a customer-centric transformation where we want to transform the hospital into customer centricity. And customer, it's not only about patient experience, but it's also about employee experience. And I think this is also important, reading that you are really focused on the employees. Employees are the ones that are delivering the experiences.
That's right. That's right. Wow, I love that. And I think my takeaway point you brought out is so important to hear. And I just hope that there are C-suite and leaders listening, because that, I call it this huge perception gap that happens. And there's an enormous opportunity. And it just blows my mind how often I hear that, the C-suite, like you said, they're talking big ideas and strategies and the big picture and the future, which you have to do. But there's a huge disconnect that they forget to really listen to their people internally, their internal customers, their employees, and what they're doing and what's their experience. And are they happy or not? Which, of course, will quell the constant flow of people leaving the company, and affect the attraction of people coming into the company. But by simply not listening to them and your end customer, and it is such a simple concept. There's such a simple way to solve those. Those are things that I know I love to help people with, because it's crucial. And like what you just said, your exposure to both of those really helped develop what you do. Similarly, really bridging that gap. And I love that. So what would you say? I mean, is it that, or is there something else that you would think is the kind of the pressing problem you're seeing right now in the workplace, in the markets, regardless of what industry, that led you to do this work, both with the healthcare and the hospitals, but also with your CX Goalkeeper work?
We can start discussing again about big strategies, but I would like really to focus on one key issue. And basically, at the end, customer and employees are human beings. You mentioned of listening to the customer, listening to the employees. And sorry, I start speaking about soccer because this is one of my two passions. It's soccer.
Please,
and this customer experience.
I love your connection. So
and
yeah,
let's think about a stadium full of people giving direct feedback, not filtered to the players, to all the teammates. And by the way, the coach is also there. It's not that somebody from the analytics department analyze something and get then some outcomes and then forward them through all the different departments. No, you get direct feedback. If you do something well, they will say, yes, goal. If you're doing something that they don't like, then you get feedback. And I think
unfiltered. I love the way you said unfiltered feedback for sure
exactly.
in a soccer stadium.
And exactly. And therefore it's really key, because then also the teammates can react real time on what of the feedback is clear. Customer feedback is one piece. We have also the employee feedback, the players, teammates speaking together, and the whole game itself. But to focus on one of the issues that I think it's important. We are still in Q1 of this year, and therefore it's target setting. And we are again on the big topic that every department, every silos gets different targets. Marketing should improve acquisition. The contact center should decrease cost. The risk department should ensure that no risks are there, and we have all solutions to this risk. And again, coming back to soccer, the team has only one target. They have all together the same target, to score more goals than the other team. You can measure a lot. It's important to understand all the metrics, but at the end, it's really key that companies, business define what is their end goal, and all the departments, all the employees knows what is our end goal. And it's not possible that you have contradictory targets, because if you want to improve acquisition, then you need more resources in contact center, because there will be questions. And therefore, clear every department has their targets, but define which is the most important, and is to win the game. And winning the game in customer experience, it means being long term in the business, ensuring to provide value for the customer.
I so love your analogies. And I know we're going to keep diving into those with your correlation to soccer. But I think it's so important that you touched on, again, something that, and it's so easy to understand in the sporting environment, that it is a team sport, just like the teams work together in any company. And if they are not what I call purpose-driven, company purpose-driven, that they are all working around the same values, the value set, not just mindset, but the same ideas and principles, and that they all have the same goals to support one another, then it's never going to happen. And it can't be that on individual tasks, because so many companies are set up where they each have their task, they're based on their specific skill set or their resume, and then they're all disjointed. So imagine, right, soccer players, the forward just think, no, I'm just going to focus on my one thing, and I'm not going to really pay attention to anyone else. Forget any sort of teamwork and cross goal opportunities and all these other things that are happening. But what made you think to correlate soccer to CX and to business? Because it's brilliant.
I want to be honest, and I'm not making advertising, but one of my friends in customer experience is James Dodkins, and I spoke with him. Is the sixth rock star, and he explained to me, my two passions are rock and customer experience. I put them together, and then we were discussing, and he asked me, "Do you have any other passion?" And yes, I have a passion about soccer. That was what I did during my childhood. That was only what I was focused on. And therefore, I started doing these parallels. But also they're really transparent. It's not that everything in soccer and football business, it's perfect. You need to select what makes sense. But it's also in companies. You don't copy another company or another strategy, because there is only one Amazon, there is only one Ritz-Carlton, and there is only one Disney. You can understand and take from them the best possible strategy, the best possible tactics, and you apply them in your business, and you change them for yourself. And what I'm doing is, instead of always picking the same example that everybody's using, that are great, because I am a super fan of Amazon, I am a super fan of Ritz-Carlton, I am a super fan of Disney, because they are doing what is right, because they are there and they are really successful. But I try to come from another angle to provide a story to share. And some sports fans, soccer fans, then understanding that perhaps can then explain that better to other people, because at the end we need to explain that, and seeing that from other angles, but always trying to tell the same, then at some point in time, also the C-suite will understand that.
Yeah, and I think putting it into a sport, even if someone doesn't play soccer, you're able to still break it down and they could relate it to American football or to basketball or any other sport. I think it's such a universal, excuse me, universal understanding that I think it's really, really so clever. And I know James as well, actually. We were working on a collaboration at one point. So yeah, great guy and great advice. Excellent advice. So you said superior experiences like winning a soccer World Cup does not happen by accident. And the same would apply to any businesses. So can you just dive a little bit into that?
Sure. There are several ways to explain that. How I really like to explain that is, if you try, you can win one game, you can win two games. But if you want to win the championship, then you need to prepare yourself, know your competitors, understand the environment. And basically what I am seeing and I am discussing with a lot of people is how quick we need to change and we need to adapt to everything what is happening. Speaking about COVID, speaking about changing customer expectation, and thinking about that the competitors is nowadays one click or two clicks away. It's not a big effort to change, and we want to keep our customer. And therefore, I always try to explain that we need to prepare for that. If we think in a business, there are different initiatives going to launching a new product, new regulation, this and that. And if you think about it, often when it comes to servicing customers, you forget to inform the contact center that a new feature of the product is there. Or
Oops.
there is
exactly. Like that's a pretty small thing, a pretty big thing to forget.
Exactly. Or there is not enough time for the trainings. Instead of doing a digital training, and in-person trainings, you send quickly an email in the morning. By the way, today we have this offering. You are laughing, but this is the reality.
It's just incredible. Yeah. So it's so inexcusable, and there's I know everyone's busy and everyone's always got multiple balls in the air, but something that big and that important, how do you not have a system created in your company to make sure these things don't fall through the cracks, or that they're not just thrown out the last minute in an email that people may not even see? You're really doing yourself a disservice from the company. And that starts, with the leadership. And I think always it falls, from the top down, but you have to be able to listen to your people, as we talked about before, really from the bottom up, and so that we're really leveling that playing field, to go with the theme a bit, between, top down and bottom up, so that it's really more of a horizontal approach. I think that's really important what you're saying. 100%.
Exactly. Making the last example, there is often the issue, we have a technology, it's out of life, out of support, because we forgot that, and then it's not working, and then you need to run and to try to fix it as quick as possible. And therefore I am saying, like in soccer, like in football, that the team trains during the whole week to prepare for the game. Also companies should train, should prepare that. And there, as you are saying, alignment, understanding, creating new tactics, speaking together, creating these alliances and this discussion, that you have a clear overview what is happening and what we need to do to run the business and to change the business at the same time. And therefore, what I'm saying, in addition to the customer experience strategy, you need also an architecture. Because if you have an overview, and now perhaps not using always soccer, but something different, if you want to build a house, you need to understand, to have the overview, what to put, where, to put the kitchen, where to put the kitchen, where to put the dress room, and all this stuff. But you think that in advance, and then you execute on that. And exactly the same is what we need in service customer. Strategy, preparation, and then you can really try to win the Champions League because you are prepared. You have enough materials to win the game.
Great analogies. Absolutely. 100%. So I just want to advance this a little bit, where you talk about a business that has money value of time of $1 per minute. Now, I know this is based on Joe Pine, but like, what does that mean in practicality? Like, can you explain what that phrase means and how you see it implemented?
For me, it's there is quite a lot of people that are skeptical if I am using this analogy with football and with soccer, and therefore I prepared also for the people that likes more data and facts, and reading. And I think quite a lot of people read this book is Joe Pine and Jay Gilmore, that they wrote the Experience Economy, and they are sharing this idea of the money value of time. And basically, if we think about a soccer game, we are speaking about 90 minutes to watch a game, and roughly in, let's say, thinking about UK or Germany, to watch a game, as a fan in the stadium, it costs roughly $90 or 90 euros. We are speaking then about $1 or €1 per minute. And this is, if we compare that with, for example, a movie in the US, I read the last analysis is something roughly 10 cents for each minute. If you're speaking about escape room, this is the best experience that people have or are sharing through all the social media. We are speaking about 40 to 50 cents for each minute. And therefore, if somebody is saying that soccer, it's not an experience, it's an experience. And for me, this is the explanation. And therefore, the value, this idea of the money value of the time is you are spending so much money for so less time. And therefore, think about that. It's an experience, because at the end, if you are in the stadium, you are feeling all the other people. You are feeling if it's going well, if it's not going well. You are drinking something, you are eating something, you are smelling all the different things that are there, that are flying there. And this is a great experience that you came in with a lot of expectation and you go out with a lot of emotions, positive or negative if your team lost. But
Right.
at the end, think again about that. I am a soccer fan. If my team lose, I try to find an excuse and I try to support them. It means also after they lost the game, I am spreading a positive word of mouth. I am a fan. I buy merchandise from them and I am emotionally connected to them. And I think every business wants to have such customer like fans.
100%. Love it. Oh my gosh. I am such a big fan of you, as you know, from our first conversation. I think it's brilliant. I think your analogies, your comparisons, your insights as to what's needed and relating it to soccer is so brilliant, and it's so relatable. Like it's tangible, right? Like you said, it's storytelling. And I think that's what we need to do more and more of. And I think people really get that. Thank you for explaining the experience economy and the value of right cost of time per minute. It's huge. And sometimes it doesn't even, the time could be shortened if the impact is large, if that emotional connection is made. And you touched on that, right? Like you feel the emotion of the game. In fact, ironically, here in Austin, we now have our own football team. And they had like a pre-game warm-up game or whatever, and a friend sent me a couple videos from the game of things going on there, and he said there's so much energy here, and I was able to experience it not even being there, just seeing that. And he described exactly what you're talking about, is that energy, that feeling, that excitement, and they were eating and drinking, and there was a video of up on the jumbotron of some guy there dancing and just doing his own thing. You know, you see all kinds of people and the spirit and energy and inhibitions, and you just live through them and through the excitement of the players. And I loved, and the unfiltered feedback. There's definitely a lot of room there for entertainment. Let's just say something we may not say, but you're thinking. So, and that falls true with your customers, right? There are many customers who feel that, disappointed or, or disengaged and not coming back and no one responds to them, whatever, something negative. But most people will not complain. In fact, 96% of customers who are unhappy will just take their business somewhere else and never complain. So imagine, think of that. Out of every 100 people that you have in your business, you will only have the opportunity of 4 people giving you the feedback for you to actually learn what they're thinking, to then hopefully make some changes around it, right? There are a lot of people who get the information and the data and don't do anything with it, but you have to have that information. So just be appreciative that, in fact, there are people and willing to and embrace those to give you that feedback, and the anonymous feedback, like you said, the unfiltered, right? Like, give your people the opportunity to do that, because most don't like conflict. They don't want to be called out. They'll go online and they'll trash you online for your bad service and your bad attitude, but you want to capture that before they're out, wherever, millions and millions of people are going to see that. Yeah, so great. So could you share some strategies inspired by soccer that we can leverage in customer experience and in business in general?
I think we spoke a lot about the customer, and you are also extremely focused on the employee. And then perhaps allow me to share something about our employees. Again, if we think about soccer team, the coach select the best suited player for the game, and then they let them go into the game. The coach is not playing. They prepare during the week all the possible strategies, all the tactics. They try to understand the competitors, but at the point in time that the referee starts the game, then they are empowered to do what is necessary.
Yes.
And even if they trained the whole week, we need to go on the left because the other team is not so strong on the left. If the team feels, understand that the left, it's not the way to go, but it's go through the middle or on the other side, they can change. They are empowered. They are allowed to do that. They don't get the script and go through the script. I need to pass to him and I need to go one to the next one. And therefore, I think this empowerment to give to the employees, the people that we hired, and therefore we trust because we hired them, to empower them to make the difference, because at the end, only human beings can make the difference. Technology is there to support people, but not to make the difference. And also giving them the opportunity for improvisation. Okay, now they are coming on this side, let's go on the other side. And I think this really, really helps. And also on the pitch, nobody is the boss. They are all at the same level. They have all the same target. They trust themselves, and they are not asking, oh, did you perform this task because I need to check that you did that. No, they trust them. If I give the ball to you, Jill, I know that you are doing the best possible next move, the next best action in our language to achieve our targets. And I think this is also a great, great opportunity that we could and should leverage.
Huge. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes. Bringing it into my ball game, which I absolutely, of course, love everything you've just said, and touches in on my E3 plus one. I've actually added one, E3 plus one formula, which is, like you just said, like, you've trusted them. They're out there. They're all in equal standing. They know at that point what to do. But how did they get there? They got there by, my first E is educate, by really educating them on what is the purpose of us as a team, as an organization. What are our common goals around all that, right? And not just train them. Training comes after, but first you have to really educate them on what those values are, to get that level set of us all being on the same playing field. And then, of course, engagement. That's where you're training. That's where you're bringing people in to make leaders at every level, giving everyone an opportunity to have that leadership and to recognize that let's do this together. Let's feel it's that activity together, right? And then, of course, that leads to exactly what you're saying, is the third E for that is to entrust. That you have to trust each other, and you've prepared them so that you can have them be empowered, so that you can trust that they're going to pick up the ball and run with it to the next move. And that applies across business and sports and everything. And you're right. And the last E that I've just recently added in is empathy, because I think at the end of the day, kind of coming full circle where we started, you talked about we're all people, right? I say we're people and people are people first, and we're customers second. And we're all people. We all want to know that we are heard, that people recognize sometimes we're not at our best. There are things that happen, and just really have that compassion, that kindness for each other. And so I think are so right. I love it. And I see we have some comments here. Robbie, nice to see you. It's been a while. Great for you to join us. Thank you. So Robbie Hanson's first comment is human beings make the difference. Technology there is to support. Yes, thank you for highlighting that, because Gregorio mentioned that, and 100%. We are in alignment that at the end of the day, technology is there to simplify and speed up the expected, rote, repetitive types of things, to get rid of some of those friction points. But at the end of the day, we're all people, we're human, and we are social beings, and we need that human connection. Thank you so much. And then he went on to say, trust each other to take and make the next best action. 100%. Thank you for underscoring that and highlighting what Gregorio mentioned. So great to see you, Robbie. Thanks for joining. Yeah, amazing. Okay, it's always so hard. We will definitely, I know I say this and I've yet to have people back, but I want to have you back again. I love speaking with you. I love your energy. I love the analogies. I think you are so spot on, and it's really a treat. And look forward to more collaborations with us as well. So thank you so much. If anyone wants to be in touch, look for Gregorio on LinkedIn. That's the best place to find him. It is his name. It's up on the screen. I'm going to let you take a screenshot of that. Hopefully someone will watch the replay, because it's kind of, if I pronounce it in the Italian way as it should be, you would never get the spelling. So it's up on the screen. You'll see that. You'll see that in the replay. You'll see that in the post as well. So please reach out to him. He's fantastic and just has so much, a wealth of knowledge to share, in his enthusiasm. Last comment from Robbie before we go. Thank you. Such great energy and takeaways today. Thank you. Love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of great information, a lot of great takeaways for sure. So thanks for that. Gregorio, last words as we wrap up here. I want to thank you for joining today. It's been fantastic.
Great pleasure. It was really a great pleasure. I really enjoyed this discussion with you. It's great, and thank you very much also to the audience to listen to us, to watch this video. It was really outstanding. If you allow me, the last sentence, I think we spoke about engaged players. In our case, our engaged employees create happy fans or happy customers. Yes. And this happy customer will take care of the shareholders. It means they will create the value also for the shareholders.
100%. They will provide repeat business. They will bring in new business. It just goes on from there, and from there down, top to bottom, you've got a win times 5, right? The shareholders, the owners, the leadership, the employees, the customers, and then the community, because hopefully they are organizations that give back to their local communities. And so in that respect, I see it as this beautiful cycle of win on every level. So thank you that was a great way to wrap up. That was really very insightful. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye to you for now, and thank you for joining. And everyone, I thank you again. I really look forward to hearing your feedback, hearing your thoughts. Please comment, tag Gregorio, tag myself, engage, ask questions, reach out to either one of us to continue this conversation. There's just it's really, I think it's brilliant, his analogy, and so many exciting ways to take this into your own company as well. So until the next time, I wish you all wonderful experiences, great connection, and thank you again for joining us.